Yeah.
Hi.
So, hi.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Erika.
And we
are living under.
Why? We can never do this correctly.
No.
Give up. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Erika.
I'm Sarah. And we are living understaffed. 100%.
Yes, the podcast about not having enough hands or hours and when your best just isn't very good. Today is that day. Today is that
The
day. We have a
epitome.
mutual understaffed. This is the third time we are recording this episode. So if you're hearing it,
time. We should be fucking
You're
experts at this
welcome.
point.
we should
Can we
be,
just...
and we still fucked up the intro.
Not wrong.
Okay, Okay, guys, before we get started, we want to say that we have very cool announcements at the end of the episode. So make sure you listen all the way to the end so you can hear our very exciting announcements. They're very exciting. Don't miss out on them.
It's the third time that she says it. Hopefully it will sink in. They are very exciting. Wrong. Can we just say, like, Zencastr worked so well for the first, 8 episodes? And then past that, it was like, fuck you. We don't even like your show. We're not going to let you fully download your episodes. Have a good day. And it's like, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
like, rude.
Anyway, so how have you been understaffed this week, Erika?
It's just been me at the house and rockin' old. So just and I got in a car accident, so that was super cool and fun. It was fine. Everyone's fine. It wasn't like serious, and I do have good car insurance, but I just have to like wait for it to be repaired, so I don't have my own car for probably like 2 weeks, which isn't really that serious, but like and I just felt really like it was not a serious accident. We were both in a parking lot, so it really wasn't bad, but I just like, you feel really like shaken after, I guess. So yeah. It's a little and also Sarah and I do this every single week. We're like, I actually didn't have a single second to relax this week, and it is entirely my fault. So that's pretty much how I felt. But I did on Friday, yesterday, dance was canceled. So I actually, when I got off work, I came home and I just hung out, and I was like, wild. So that was cool.
Total change of pace.
No,
your dance schedule changed to 3 nights a week though, right?
Yeah. So it used to just be Tuesdays, and then it was Tuesdays and Thursdays, and now it's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
And podcast a couple times a week.
Yep. And my book club.
And book club. And self-care. And full-time job.
Yes.
And the first one to go is always self-care. So
always. Every single time.
It never fails. God.
No.
Well, and I mean, blessing in disguise. I'm glad that Nolan is on TDY, because at least you have the second car that you don't have to like coordinate going, with him on post or off post, or like at least, that's a little bit of a saving grace that you have a second vehicle to use right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And also the collision plates, I was like, my car is, I mean, it's not old, but it's not brand new either. And I was like, if it's going to take forever to get a door for my car, I don't want to be like waiting to get my car back for like a month. But it's actually fine. And at work, I'm also understaffed because one of our team members is out on maternity leave, which is fine. I'm absolutely I think you and I are the same on this, which is if someone is out, everyone should pitch in to make sure their job gets done because there should be no reason
To reach out
why
to them.
stuff
Yeah.
yeah, especially if they're on I would argue if you're on leave at all.
I'm not answering the fucking door.
Okay.
Give it a second.
Unless someone
Oreo, come here. Oreo, come here. Go lay down. I know you're a big bad house protector. You good girl. Lay down. Go on. Go on.
whenever somebody's out, you just pick it up. So I've been transitioning sort of, and what she did is what I used to do in a previous job. So it's pretty easy for me to pick it up. It's just a lot more now. And the way she was doing it is not the way that I would do it, which again is fine. But
Yeah.
because it's me, I'm creating another spreadsheet so that I can track it and I don't have to just remember.
Which I'm a huge fan of.
Yes. Spreadsheets are the best.
They seriously are. Excel is like my best fucking friend. My week has been obscene. I think what's all happened? Our biggest event of the year happened. It's an event that showcases every country, and we had 40 different countries represented at the event, which means we had essentially 40 different stations that you could go to quote unquote travel the world in a night. And you got to try food and drinks and coffee and different, coffee from Colombia. There was a bean dip or a bean stew type of thing from Cape Verde. We also had American catering because there are some people that, don't eat international foods, which is unfortunate for them. But the American caterer was phenomenal. She was from Drachenfutter. So it was an incredible event, but we also have been gearing for it for the last 6 months. So that whole week was just wild. I don't even remember half of it. I also had a really, really great first date, like a record breaking type of really great first date. So I'm speechless about that. We'll put it that way. And then what else happened this week? We had 13 new students that are coming in. And then next week, we're prepping for 24 or 25 students to graduate, which means we have to, all their paperwork and all their admin shit and all of the things has to get done before they graduate. And it's just it's fine. We totally got this. On a understaffed level, we have tried to record this episode 3 goddamn times, and the 2 previous recordings didn't upload through the server. So here's to hoping for lucky number 3. But it's been it's been a pretty wild week. So on a great thing, on a great note, I have social media scheduled for weeks. So on an evening level, I would work till 5, 6 every night. So roughly 12-hour days. And then I would actually come home and watch Netflix and go to sleep at a decent time rather than just sitting on my laptop. Oh, and what happened this week? My fucking laptop broke. So I couldn't work on podcast shit anyway because my fucking laptop somehow got a liquid on it. And guys, any of you that have ever interacted with me and all of the 900 side hustles that I do throughout the year, my laptop is my life. All of my projects, all of my designs, all of my ideas, all of my side hustles, all of my work, all my part-time jobs is on this fucking computer. So the fact that I somehow got liquid on it, first of all, is baffling because I protect it like nobody's business. And then The computer repair shop tells me that the liquid was consistent to dried Coke, but it smelled like Chinese food. First of all, I'm insulted. Second of all, I don't drink Coke unless I'm like heavily drinking, and I haven't had fucking time for that in months. So I don't even remember the last time I drank Coke. On top of that, I don't even remember the last time that I ate Chinese food. Am I now craving Panda Express? Yes. What the fuck? So where did this liquid come? Like that's what I'm pissed about. And then just to add some whipped cream and a beautiful little cherry on top, it was $500 to fix my fucking computer. So ugh, it was very painful. And that's fine. My computer's back. It's fine. I didn't have to drop $1,500 on a new fucking computer. But for all of the things that were happening this week, I was just like, we're just rolling with it. It's fine. It's fine. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely one of those weeks where they're like, "Hi, how are you doing?" And I'm like, "Terrible. Thanks for asking."
Terrible. Never ask me again. I don't want the question.
Yeah.
Cuz I can't handle the answer myself.
Yeah.
Oh god, please don't make your shit fall.
No.
No.
Dude, on another understaffed note, feel free to leave this in or take it out, whatever. I've been meal prepping enchiladas for work, which is great, except washing the casserole dish is the bane of my existence. Now, judge me if you want, but if I put that casserole dish on the floor, Rocky will get every single piece of cooked on cheese off of that bitch, and I can just put it in the dishwasher. He's going to take it out of the sink anyway.
Hey, we all got to do what we got to do, man.
Zero regrets. Not a single regret.
For the amount of people that like, so like my bulldog, disgusting drooler. She was disgusting, right? She had to lick your face. If she couldn't lick your face, she would lick your arm. If she couldn't lick your arm, she'd lick your leg. If she couldn't lick your leg, and I'm not talking just like leg with pants on. If it was your bare skin, she would lick your arm. If you have long sleeves on, she'd try to lick your leg. If you have pants on, she would lick your feet. Like she has to. That's her way of showing affection, right? But she drools a lot. And so if she needed to lick me, I would just let her lick right here on my chin like twice. And then I'm like, you need to get the fuck away from me. And it's not that I don't fucking love her. But on the flip side of that, the number of people in the world that are like, ew, dog licks. Oh my God, I can't believe you let them, adore you like that. Like, what do you think I'm doing? Putting peanut butter on my vagina and letting them go to town? Like, that's not what's happening here. Like, they're fucking affectionate animals. Like, they want to show you their love. Like, hello?
Yes.
But I have met people that are like, gross.
Yes. I have also met people that are like, oh, and they're like talking and the dog's tongue is going in their mouth. And I'm like, disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
It's a weird gray area. Roz was so like, she would listen to you and she would just be like so excited that you were anywhere near her. And she had laser accuracy with her tongue. And if you left your mouth open in like talking to her at all and you were within her reach, she would lick your fucking tonsils. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Gross.
Rocky, not that much of a licker, which I appreciate.
Amen.
He likes to lick my hands. And he likes to lick my feet, but I think all dogs like to lick feet. And if I have lotion on or like body oil on, I have to like kick him away from me.
Run away. Yes.
Yeah. But other than that, he's pretty good. He does drool though. So if I'm eating, he will put his face like right over my lap and like just solid drool on my lap. He's also one of those dogs that when he drinks water, I'm like, have you ever actually seen water before? because he like attacks it with his face.
That's so
He like
funny. Oh my God, that's so
he like
funny.
splashes it around. I mean, from what you know of Rocky, are you surprised? You shouldn't be. He like
Absolutely not.
splashes it around, gets water everywhere. Everywhere. Half the bowl ends up on the floor. And then he
Yep.
just like chomps the water. And then when he walks away, there's just like water coming out of his mouth,
Just dripping.
going
Yeah, yeah,
wherever.
yeah. Yeah, the bulldog was like
I'm
that
like,
because she's all
bro.
jowls, right? So like all jowls. So
Yes.
any of the water that she lapped up was immediately draining. So I'm like, did you
Yes.
even hydrate? Like, are you sure? Because I'm not.
Yeah.
There's more water on the floor than I think was in the bowl to begin with. What happened? Like,
Yes.
what the fuck? And it's so
Mhm.
funny because I'm also dog sitting right now, and she's a oh shit, she's a border collie mix, and she has a little like raised food dish, and the way that she drinks water, she's like bloop, 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 bloop. No water drips on the floor, no nothing, no drool. Sweetest girl on the whole planet. She's awesome.
I love that for you. Genuine.
Genuine.
Hey, it's Sarah, your messy host of Everything's Messy podcast. Do you perhaps suffer from a chronic illness or maybe just starting a wellness journey? Do you learn through listening and storytelling? Well, that's what I'm all about at Everything's Messy podcast. We are a safe space for you to sit through your mess, but in the end, to celebrate you as you find your strength through the mess. Listen now, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and let's get messy.
So Erika, what is today's episode even? Because first of all, I almost have it memorized because we've already tried to record this 3 times, but at this point my head hurts so much that I barely remember what we talked about last time.
Yeah, both of us, we record and then we immediately brain dump it. Cause I think last time we were like, what did we even record?
That's right.
And the
Yeah,
only
and then
reason why
go ahead,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Well, I was gonna say you kept bringing up the shit that we were talking about in Hawaii, and I was like, the only reason that I specifically remember Hawaii is because I was so fucking tan, and I had my little, I'm a single person flower in my hair, and I was like, oh my God, I'm recording from Hawaii. I knew that that's not what our last episode was because that was 2 weeks ago. So then I'm like, oh God, what did we record? Shit.
Yes. But I did remember. I did my best to remember. And this time we're doing toxic traits.
Oh,
I'll start. And caveat, it's us. So as I go through the list of other ones of other people's, we're going to be like, oh, yep, that's also me. So mine for sure are that I'm always late. I'm always late to work.
With coffee in hand. Let's also
With coffee in hand. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did I have enough time to get there on time? Yes. Am I late anyway? Also yes. I don't know how it happens. And people forever at previous jobs are like, Erika, you got to get to work on time. Your next boss isn't going to let you be late. That's a lie. Everyone lets me be late. Which leads me into my second toxic trait, which is that I work late and I don't take my lunch. So and sometimes I work on the weekends. So that's my second toxic trait, which is probably why I can get away with being 15 minutes late every day. And my third toxic trait is that my period is always a surprise. Am I particularly irregular? No. I just when
God.
Nolan and I were doing like fertility stuff, I was really on top of it and I tracked it. So I know for a fact, like my period starts the same time of day every month, almost. Like give or take. Yeah.
Fuck?
Every once in a while, it'll be later. It'll be different enough that I notice. But yeah, usually it's
That's
exactly
shocking.
31 days. Yes. It's great. it would be great if I paid attention to when and then sure as shit, every month I'm like, damn it.
You know what's also great?
What?
Not having a period at all.
I really wish I could.
Last episode, we talked about how your body hair is like blonde and you're like blessed. Like your eyebrows are great, they're dark. Your eyelashes are great, they're dark. But like most of your body hair is blonde, whereas mine is not. Other than, so like my eyelashes and my eyebrows are like blonde. And so I have eyeliner tattooed because otherwise you can't even tell that I have eyelashes. I'm that like platinum blonde. So to basically get back at you for that, because that's wonderful luck, I have an IUD in and my body just reacts and I don't have a period. So amen.
Yeah, yes. Well, I do. I just wish that I could go and be like, can you just take it out? Can you just take out the whole uterus? That I don't need this. Leave the ovaries for like hormone reasons, but the whole uterus can go. Please and thank you.
That would be super. I would love that.
But we live in a patriarchal society that will not let me do that.
Yep. The last time I inquired about it was before COVID. So maybe like 2017. It was right after. Yeah, it was like 2017, 2018. The doctor asked me if I had ever had children, and I said no. And he said, okay, have you ever carried his first question was, have I ever carried a child to full term? And I said no. And he said, okay, have you ever carried a child? Yes, I have. How many months? Like 5. Nope, that still doesn't count. So because I haven't carried a child to X amount of months, it was traumatizing, for the record. The conversation was just yuck.
Oh,
but because I haven't carried a child for X amount of time, they won't do a hysterectomy because I might change my mind. That's the way he explained it to me. And like, you know, years have passed since then and I can't have children. So can you take it anyway? No.
Yeah. Yep.
Weird.
Meanwhile, if you're a man, the second you turn 18, you can walk into a doctor's office and you can get a vasectomy. Not only that, but they'll numb the spot of the local injection so you don't even feel when you're getting injected.
Yeah. And they send you home with legitimate painkillers. With a woman who has to go through like, what do you call them? Whatever that tool is for when they do a PAP, right?
Oh,
that tool.
Speculum?
Yes, you have to use a fucking speculum, and all they do is offer Tylenol post appointment.
Oh,
and that
not a
for
speculum
me,
when they like take a chunk out of your not out of your uterus, out of your cervix?
Out of your cervix. Yeah, cervix samples to make sure you don't have fucking cancer or tumor or anything. That is the most painful fucking thing on the planet. And they gave me one of those sample packs of Advil for it.
Yes.
I stopped scheduling doctor's appointments after that because they didn't tell me what they were doing. It was just supposed to be a checkup, right? They didn't tell me what they were doing. And then when I felt the pain, there was a nurse that came over and held my hand because I was gripping my hand so hard that I broke skin and was bleeding. And then I broke skin on the fucking nurse's hand because the doctor just wasn't saying anything. And I was bawling at that point, fucking bawling.
Yeah.
And then he leaves, he comes back, I put my clothes back on, and he goes, oh, here's some Tylenol. They'll call you in a couple of weeks with results. For what?
What?
For what? What are we doing? Nope. And he just left. Like, okay.
I hate that.
Meanwhile, for men, they give them heavy painkillers post that procedure, and then they give them 3 days off of work automatically. Here's a doctor slip. But I have to go back to work the next day after my cervix has been abused Like,
And you bleed. It's like they're like, "Oh, make sure you have a sanitary napkin because blood is going to come out."
yep. Yep. Oh my God. We will rant about this forever.
This topic deserves its own episode, and that will happen.
Done and done. We have to cut ourselves off because this episode will be 7 hours long. Minimum.
For real. For real. Because we could both talk about this for days.
And we could have guests on
Anyway.
to talk about it. We could have a fucking marathon. The longest recorded podcast episode. I'll look it up and get us book of world records.
Yes.
We'd beat it. We would beat it by days. Not just like an hour or minutes. Days.
Days. Yes.
My blood
we
pressure
would be
is
fueled
like,
by rage and nothing else.
not even coffee, guys. That's how serious. That's that.
No. Yeah. Just rage.
Sarah's toxic traits. I think I had to think about this last time too because I was like, ugh. I put everyone else in front of me, like, no matter what. If somebody is going to be late on their car payment and they say, "Hey, Sarah, I need help," I will give them my car payment, and then I'll be struggling for the next month to make up my own car payment. But that person needed help. So like I'll take everything I own. "Hey, Sarah, I need shoes for this event." Okay. It'll be my favorite pair of shoes. And I'm like, you need help? Okay. You okay. And it's my favorite pair of shoes. And then I regret it immediately. But then, their outfit is fire. And I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah. It's the same thing with like work stuff. I've gotten better about saying no, especially at work because I am trying. But like podcasting stuff, we have a lot of friends in the pod world that they're like, "Hey, can you meet with us for like an hour to discuss this and this or help us with a design or something?" I'm like, "Yep." I don't have the fucking time for that, but I do it because somebody asked me to. Yeah. And then work, like I work a lot. I put so much on my plate in order for me to forget that I have free time, in order for me to miss it, I guess. We've talked about it on previous episodes. It's trauma response. It's very hard for me to not have something to do. So example, last night, a couple nights ago, I had music playing on my Sonos speaker. I was editing some podcast reels on my phone, uploading them to Google Drive. Then on my laptop, using Google Drive to download them and then upload them to like YouTube. Like I was doing all these things on those 3 devices, including then also watching Netflix on my iPad. And because I live in the fucking forest and have horrible Wi-Fi, I was also crocheting in between waiting for the downloads and uploads to happen.
Yeah. Same. Girl, same.
Yeah.
I remember talking to my mom when I was in high school because my mom had this rule where like we couldn't watch TV. Like we couldn't watch TV on school nights.
Okay.
And I was like, if I don't, I can't do my homework. And she's like, "I don't believe you." And I was like, and this was
not how my brain
we're
works.
old. Yeah. This is before you could watch anything on like YouTube. Like YouTube was pretty much only music at that point. And I did listen to music. I did do that a lot. But yeah, I was like, I can't concentrate. And when I try to explain that to people, they're like, "What?" It's better now just because ADHD I think is a little bit more understood than it was then. But I'm like, you don't understand. If I don't have like the silence is deafening. That was created for people who have ADHD. I can't concentrate if there's nothing going on because my brain will make things and then I'm thought spiraling and I can't do anything. So,
Yep.
I'm either doing 5 things or I'm doing 0 things and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. My boss,
I mean, I'm sure there is, but
thankfully, thankfully, my boss lets me play music in my office because I would normally have like a soldier that works with me at the desk, but that hasn't been staffed in a while. So literally at work, I'm understaffed and personally understaffed. But at work, like I can play music and most of the students are like cool, cool with music choices or whatever, because I listen to a wide range of things. That being said, I also sing, and like I'm not fucking anyone as far as singing, but like the students will come in and they'll just be like, I didn't know you could sing. And it's like, I can't, just leave me alone. Like this is a coping mechanism to keep me focused so that I can get a bunch of shit done. It's not the fact that I'm like, I mean, I sing because I enjoy singing and I love music, but like I don't even notice that I am singing because I'm getting so much stuff done. So get out of here so I can get more stuff done. God. What's number 3? Number 3, I don't know. What did I say last time? Oh, dear.
You can't take a fucking compliment to save your life. Either you
It's
say it
not
or I'm going
funny.
to call you out on it later. It is.
So Erika reminds me of this often, but I require 2-factor authentication to receive compliments. And I like, even then it'll fail because I it doesn't work well. My body, like if someone compliments me, I'm like, have a great day. Happy birthday.
Yeah. You too.
Right. Oh my God. It's like when you're at the airport, right? And somebody's like, the flight attendant is like, all right, have a great flight. Or not the flight attendant, but the ticket counter. And they're like, have a great flight. And you're like, you too. It's like, oh, you're not flying.
Yeah.
Got
yeah. It. Happy birthday. You too. Yeah.
Later.
100%. Yeah. I'm like that. Or I've gotten better about like outwardly accepting compliments. Like I'll say, someone will be like, oh, you look really nice today, or like I really like your blouse or whatever. And in my head I'm like, oh, thank you, like I appreciate that. And then I'll like go about my business. But in my head I'm like, she's clearly lying. 100% clearly that is not true. Obviously. Why would you even think otherwise?
The only thing that I know people aren't lying about if they compliment me is if it's on my spreadsheets. That's the only time that I'm like, thank you. I worked so hard on that. That's the only time. But if somebody were to be like, I mentioned it, but like great first date, right? He made a few comments throughout the night that he was like, you are fucking beautiful. And I'm just like, so what do you want for dinner? Like what?
Yeah, you're clearly lying. I can't. No, we're not having this conversation. I can't handle this right now.
Difficult.
It's triggering. How dare you?
And at the end of the day, can we just talk about how like I think everyone goes through it to a certain extent, but like first question, who on the planet takes a compliment, accepts it, doesn't second guess it, and then responds appropriately every time? Who? Because I want to meet them. I want to know what the secret is. Like, how does that work? Second question is, when you are coming from childhood trauma, and granted, been seeing a therapist for a long time, a couple different ones, and like I've been working through my own childhood trauma shit. Like I don't want the cycle to continue, right? We talked about it, I think, on the last episode, but I was watching this Facebook reel, and there's a scientist that they're going through studies in DNA, and they're saying that trauma actually sticks to your DNA for 20 generations. So not only am I dealing with my own physical childhood trauma from 30 years ago, I'm also dealing with it from 300 years ago. That's rude. No. So,
yes.
If one of the worst things on the planet that someone can tell me is that I can't take a compliment, okay. Sorry. Like God.
Yes. I feel like as we go forward, they're like, oh, yeah, no, it's way worse than you thought. Cool. This is great. I just feel like we were led to believe that your 30s you were going to have your life together. And like I do. Like I have a good job and I have a car and I have all like I'm stable. All of those things are good, but I'm like who I feel like I said in one of our very first episodes, I was not prepared for this. I was not prepared for this.
No. And things have
Who
changed
do I need to take
so
a class
much.
from for basic human stuff like how to take a compliment, how do mortgages work? Please.
Yes.
I just need that. Like, can we just
work? I can't.
I don't understand.
Oh God. You're not wrong.
Right. I did find some other ones that we also probably relate to painfully.
So what
but
you're
they're
saying is
funny.
prepare to be triggered.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely hurt my own feelings coming up with this list.
Rude.
I know. As my sister always says, if you can't be nice, be funny. Yes.
Okay. All right. I needed that laugh. I'm ready.
Being nosy. I don't care. I just want to know. Facts. Facts.
Fuck.
There was a car accident Thursday night on my way home. Blocked off the whole road. There are firefighters, there's ambulance, there's everyone, and they're on the side of the road. It blocked off all of traffic, and everyone's honking and everyone's mad. And I'm like, so glad that like the traffic's going slow so that I can like see what's going on. Like I am that person where if like my neighbors are fighting in their front lawn, I am outside vacuuming the driveway.
The lawn. Yes.
Do I need to know? No. And again,
Absolutely
like we talk
not.
about this all the time. Like we're both admin. The best part about being admin is that you get to know everything, but like also being professional enough to not say anything about it. And that's the thing. I don't actually, because like I have a love-hate relationship with gossiping. Like you have your, like, just as a rule, don't gossip at work. It's unprofessional. 100%. Just don't. And it's shitty. It's not a nice thing to do. Just don't do it. That being said, tell me everything.
Tell me all. Okay. It's not that I'm going to start spreading rumors.
No.
It's not that I'm going to start spreading everything, but I just want to know. So like if it comes up in conversation, two things. I can either be like, "Oh, I heard about that." Or I pretend not to know because what if there's different details? What if it's a different side of the story? What if it's from somebody who I didn't even think was connected and now all of a sudden there's this new rabbit hole of information that I didn't know existed? I feel like a horrible person. I do. Sometimes I'm like, oh, Sarah. But then I'm like, don't care. I want to know.
Yes. Same. Me too. I am the queen of that. People are like, did you know this thing? And I'm like, no. I know.
But yes, I did.
Yes. Absolutely.
If we ever get to a point that we have like thousands of downloads every month and our coworkers start listening to this, they're going to be like, oh, how much does she know? Like what? And it's like, I know all of it. I know
also
all of it.
Listeners, send in your work gossip. Please.
Oh, please.
Send it to me. Or hometown gossip. I'm still in there. My hometown has this like the name of the town. I'm not going to say it because it's very small. And it's where people like post stuff. They're supposed to be able to post like, if they need something or they need a ride somewhere or whatever, because it's a really small town. No, it is always like this person got arrested. Can you believe what they did? Or like this person has this sign in their yard. Can you believe it? Or like whatever. It is so good.
It's the same with military communities because there's always a shit talking Facebook group and I am in every single one that we were stationed at because especially the Fort Leonard Wood, because there's like 2 here, I think, especially the one here because I know a lot of people. And so I'm like, oh, and it's one of those things that like I never comment on anything. I never react to anything. I just read. And especially the stories that have like hundreds, if not thousands of like comments. I'm like, oh, we're reading a book today and it's called Facebook.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Oh.
Let me pause. I'm going to make some dinner, get myself a snack because this is what we're doing this evening.
Correct. While having music or a Netflix show on in the background, for the record.
Yes, obviously. That is how I pick all of my shows, is how easy they are to pay attention to while I'm doing other things.
Yeah. That's been like somebody, so for the record, being understaffed, right? And having all these projects on our plate, somebody asked me if I had started watching this one show. I couldn't even tell you what it was. But anyway, they asked me if I had started watching it because they're on like season 2. And I was like, no. Because for me, if it's a new show and I want to be like, and I enjoy it, right? And it's something I haven't seen before, I'm going to immerse myself in it and I'm going to binge it and it's going to be delicious, right? But if I have so many projects on my plate, I cannot afford the time to do that. And I know that at least 2 years ago, if you would have asked me to do that, I would have done it anyway and then just been like fucking frantic getting all of the things done. Yes. Now I'm to a point that I can say no to some things, but I know that investing my time, my free time, what little I have into a show that I, might like and then binge, not possible. So I have my comfort shows. There's the serial killer stuff. There's Friends. There's Big Bang. There's like all of these things. There's some documentaries that I've seen 100 times that I'll just put on for like some comfort, I can't watch new shows right now.
No.
So
I'm exactly the same. There are a few like murder shows, British murder shows. Everyone who knows me knows how I feel about it. And people all the time, especially one of the places I worked when I lived in Missouri, they'd be like, "Hey, have you seen this show?" And I was like, "Is it a British murder show?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Then I haven't seen it." Like, "Well, I think you'll like it." I'm like, I'll pass. Thank you. I appreciate that it made you think of me, but no, I am not taking recommendations for new TV shows right now. Please. Thank you.
If you have something to say about it, you can leave a Yelp review. Have a good day.
Yes. This is another thing that is absolutely us, and we are terrible about it, which is putting off a 15-minute task for 3 weeks. Me, every time I have to get my changed.
I will say, because first of all, not wrong. I do it all the time. Second of all, there's these LinkedIn communities that I'm a part of that they send out like newsletters every now and then. And one of them is it's like psychology of work. And they talk about leadership and they talk about, things that you can do to improve your work-life balance or to improve your time management or whatever. And one of them for time management came out a couple weeks ago that it was like any task that you are given that takes under 5 minutes, do it right then and there and just knock it out. Anything that's 5 minutes and under, just do it right there and knock it out. And I will say that I've been trying really hard to implement that because it's a double-edged sword because a lot of the tasks that I specifically do are all 5 minutes and under. And so, you do kind of have to try to prioritize. But if I'm working on the database or I'm working on data entry or medical or something for a student, or just for the job, for the supervisor, whoever, if somebody comes up to me and they're like, "Hey, can you print this? Hey, can you scan this?" Whatever, I immediately drop everything I'm doing because that's also part of the toxic trait of like, "Oh, you need help? Okay." But if it's a task that's under 5 minutes, then they say to just fucking knock it out. That way it's done and you can brain dump it. Like, okay, bye. So I've been trying to do that. And it's been, I think it's been pretty beneficial so far.
I read something similar, and what I do is I front load the things that I'm dreading because there are certain things that are part of my job that I just really don't like doing, like pulling reports and stuff that don't take very long, but I just don't like to do them. And those I'll just put off and until it's the very end of the day, and then I'm like, it's 3:30 and I have to get them done, and then I'm like, this is the worst. So that's what I do. But yeah, it's always the same. Like I usually save those for when I need to get back on task because it's like immediate gratification, if that makes sense. Like, oh, I did this thing. Like somebody asked me to do something and I got pulled in a bunch of different directions and now I have to like sit down and like recenter. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then it's like, oh, little hit of dopamine. You did a thing. I'm like, yes, gold stars for me. And then I move on to the next thing.
I actually do that with my daily notebook. So my daily notebook has a little circle check mark thing for tasks, or at least that's what I use it for. And so every day I rewrite my to-do list. Like, and I have months worth of notebooks. I rewrite my to-do list, and whether it's 3 pages long or 5 items, I rewrite it every day. And I always put 1 to 5 things that I know I'll get done in 2-3 minutes, and it's not even worth my time to write down. But I have to be able to look at my checklist every day and see that I did something the day before. I have to. So if it's like sent the email request for an ID card appointment for one student, I'll fucking write that down and check the box so that tomorrow I feel a little bit better about the tiny amounts of productivity that I made. Or there'll be days that I get more than half the list done and I'm like, hell yeah. And it's great. But that to-do list is that literally sets the tone for every single day, is me writing that to-do list and knowing that I checked a couple of things off.
Yeah, me too. I do the same thing. And I have stickers and I decorate them and I have different colored pens and I have the cutest to-do list pads. I'll have to send you a picture because they are adorable.
And we also already know what your desk looks like from the last episode. So thank you for that office porn, because I needed that.
I know my way around some office supplies.
Can we also just say that the rose gold pens that we talked about in, I think when I was in Hawaii, I now have everyone in my office purchasing them.
I love that.
You're welcome.
Are those in my goodie box? Did you send me some?
Yep. I mean, no, but yes.
Hey. If not, I was going to buy some. So
no, there's some in there for you. I promise.
This one's me. I think I can get there in 10 minutes. I never in my entire life have I gotten to a place in 10 minutes. Never.
No.
I think I can get there in 10 minutes every time. Every time. Same with getting ready. I can get ready in 10 minutes. I have repeatedly proven to myself that I cannot do that.
I mean, have the same issue with like getting ready in the morning and knowing that I only have 10 minutes to get ready. Can I get ready in 10 minutes? I sure can. But then I fucking look at my phone, or it's a really good song, and then I look down and it's fucking 45 minutes later and I'm like, fuck, like that's awful.
Yep. Yes. Another one that is both of us and also definitely hurt my own feelings is I swear I'm talking in a normal pitch when I'm actually screaming. Correct. I used to be really self-conscious about it. I'm not anymore. I'm like, sorry, I'm hilarious. I'm going to be yelling. Everyone else gets to hear how great I am. Just kidding. I absolutely don't have that level of self-esteem, but that's how I like to spin it, because fuck you. Let me be loud. Anyway.
We actually had this conversation at work this week because it's the same thing. Like the family that you come from, the family that I come from, and you're home with siblings, cousins, nieces, nephews, you have to talk the loudest in order to be heard. Like maybe it's considered American culture. I don't know. But like we talked about it at work today, and simultaneously there was like the 4 or 5 of us standing in a circle. There was 3 different conversations happening. I'm having a conversation with someone, listening to them, these 2 over here, and commenting on it, and then coming back to here and like going back and forth. And we all know what the 3 conversations are about. And then in the end, we're all laughing and cackling about something funny because we obviously have to throw in something funny. And I made the comment, because my supervisor was standing there and one of us made like a dirty joke because that's the level that we're on. And
Yeah.
we're all laughing and she's just like shaking her head. And I'm like, listen, lady, if we weren't laughing, we'd be crying. So we're laughing. We're going to joke about this stuff because otherwise we're going to cry about it. And I just don't feel like doing that today.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not on my agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My office is housed in the research library. And that library collectively is the loudest library on the entire planet because of us. Not always because of us, but like we have no filter. We have no volume control. And so we also have the pool table and the ping pong table, and the students will yell or whatever because they're competitive. Americans will walk in there all the time and be like, I didn't know this was here. And I'm like, oh, are you an international student? No, get out. Leave. Like,
please, you can't sit with us.
You can't sit with us. So anyway, we have a lot of fun with that. But the living in Germany, I will say that I do think it's semi-American culture because at the end of 3 years in Germany, because I'm not going to say every German, but the people that I interacted with would make similar comments about like, oh, we know she's American because she's super loud. And I'm like, ugh. And by the third year, I'm at the commissary, I'm at the PX, and I can hear 2 girls, 3 girls, like 3 aisles down. And I'm like, they're new, obviously. Like, well, that's fine. And now that I'm back in the States it's been almost 4 years, I'm back to being just as loud. I don't give a shit. So
yeah,
you're right. That did hurt my feelings.
The next one is even worse. I always feel like I'm one little treat away from having all of my problems solved. I just need this one thing and then I will be fine forever. Again, going back to repeatedly proving to myself that that's not the case, I still am like, if I just get this one thing, it'll be like, I'll just be happy now. My dopamine and serotonin will be exactly where they need to be at all times.
To the level of like, oh, I just need this purse, this pair of boots, and then I'll never have to buy a pair of boots again, or I'll never buy another. That's a lie. I'm 1,000% lying to myself.
Yeah.
But I need it
100%.
because it's like my, the life has been lifing. And so I'm like, oh my God, I just need to treat myself, and it's like, and the thing is, if I just shopped at like Goodwill or Good Sam or like the Spouse Thrift Club a little bit more, I'd be fine. It'd be the same thing. But in the moment when you're like manic and anxious and you just need something, it's like, oh, a $200 purse? Okay.
Yes.
No. Sarah, stop it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm exactly the same way. Or in my brain, I'm like, I need this. It's like, you've lived your entire life without this thing. Do you really need it? The answer is usually no. Or like I'll get it and I'm like, oh yes, I have this thing, and I'll wear it like one time. I'm like, bitch, why are you like
Why
this?
did you do that? I read an article, maybe it wasn't a real article, it might have been social media, but I read something a couple years ago that was like, if you are thinking about making a purchase, $10 purchase, $1,000 purchase, whatever it is. If you're planning to make a purchase, put it in your cart, save the website to a note or something, put it in your cart and leave it there for 3 days. If by the third day you're still, justifying what it is that you need it for, that you need it because of X, Y, and Z, because home improvements, because, special event, because you're traveling, whatever the case, if you still need it on day 3, then purchase it. But if by day 3, there's like a little bit of a doubt that you're like, oh, I could wait a few paychecks, or I could use something else, or I could borrow it from someone else, don't buy it. So
yeah, my problem with that is that the reason why I need the thing is because I want it.
Exactly. But that's where that like that delayed purchase process comes from, because
Yeah.
they're just, does your bank account really need to take a hit, or do you just need the dopamine hit? Like, is that what's happening? So
Yeah, correct. Hello. Thank you for listening all the way. I know it was hard to bear with us, but we have very exciting things. First, we're going to go to weekly episodes. So instead of hearing us every other week, you get to hear us every week. We're very excited. We're so excited because we love this so much and we love you so much. And we're just so stoked at the direction we're going. So we're going to have more episodes. Second thing is that we are going to have merch. And I know what you're thinking. Wow, Erika, it's almost Christmas time. What am I going to get all my friends and family? 100% you should get them Living Understaffed merch. What's not to love? I mean, honestly.
hands down.
Third thing is we are going to have a book club. So we're announcing the book club. We're all going to read it together and we're going to talk about it on the podcast because we've had a couple people like talk about reading. We have a lot of reading friends. We had the illustrious Meg Becker on the podcast a while ago.
Oof.
We love reading and we love supporting indie authors, and that's really important to us. So we're going to continue that by having a book club so we can share that love of books with you guys. And the fourth thing is that we're going to have a Discord. So you can ask us questions. We'll talk about the book in there. You can give us episode ideas. You can comment on our episodes. You can tell us things you want us to cover. You can tell us all the things that you want. You can just whatever. We will have a Discord for it. So those are our announcements. Thank you so much for waiting. You did such a good job. I'm proud of you.
She just speaks directly to my soul with a praise kink. Like, we're going to end this episode. Excuse me, ma'am. Jesus.
I feel like I'm getting so much better at those.
I'm sweating. Like, I'm...
Oh, God.
Sweet Jesus. Well, guys, this is where we end today's episode. Thank you so much for being here and allowing us to not just be potting into the void, because we are like we're so fucking thrilled to be able to start releasing weekly episodes. So thank you for being here. We're the kind shameless promo of requesting reviews and comments on content because we love you guys. Our TikTok is doing super well. Instagram is doing pretty well. So I'm really grateful for everything that's happening with this right now. So appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week.